Is my voice working? Is my voice working? Is my voice clear and hearable? This is my first ever live stream with a voice. I'm going to start the propeller spinning now to see if the video is working. So if there's anyone watching this stream, say in chat if you can see the propellers spinning. Okay, everything appears to be working so far. My voice is definitely clear, nothing's messing up with the microphone. So before I do anything, I need to do this time warp thing to speed up the physics, because time warping to full physical time warp gives the physics engine a kick and it makes it run at 1-to-1 speed. So yeah, if I don't see chat messages immediately, this is because I can't see live stream chat on my tablet. I can only see the stream if I watch it. So I have to alt-tab out the game every time I have to look at chat. Right. So today I plan on doing a tour of the ZPA base. But I may give it a bit of time to let the viewers build up a little bit, as currently there's not many viewers. Right. Right. Everything is ready to go, I think. gonna give it a bit longer just yet to build up viewers. So then, so today I will be live streaming this, whatever this is, Kerbal Space Program, and I will be doing a guided tour around the ZPA base, where I plan on doing the yearly ZPA Kerbal event in December. And so I guess we'll start. So currently we're at ZPA Island 0, which is where the Kerbal cannons happen. The cannon game from the ZPA, where the Kerbals get fired out of the cannons. Of course, I can't say every game that's going to happen, as there's some new ones in the ZPA that I don't want to spoil. But this is where the cannons will happen. If you were there for the last ZPA event, you will notice that the concrete strip that I placed has moved from this end to this end. This is because I've added more ZPA islands, and the whole reason they're so far apart is to prevent the other craft from being ever loaded in. So I've moved the concrete strip where the Kerbal flies so that they don't end up loading in another craft, as that can cause some lag. So some improvements I hope to do with the ZPA is, one, include my voice. Hopefully this is what this test stream is for. Hopefully. Then another improvement is I will not take the Kerbals on and off of the KTC. I will now, all I will do now, between games, I will go into load save and I will load a specific quick save with the game already ready with all the Kerbals. So yeah, this is ZPA Island 0. And here, the plane I've got here is the Twin Kraken. A plane that I've made powered by nothing but phantom forces provided by docking ports. So I'm just going to take off from this road and I will land it in the next ZPA island. So we're now flying. The Kerbals are all terrified, as they always are. You may notice a bit of stutter here. This is not because my computer can't handle streaming. It is because I've got so many Kerbal construct statics at the ZPA base. I'm actually limiting what my computer can do by doing that. So I'm now going to come in and land on the next ZPA island. I guess I don't have to land, do I? But anyway, here is ZPA Island 1. I can't say what ZPA game will happen here. I'll leave it as a surprise. Then here is a bit of a city that has kind of gone into the ZPA base a bit. So, yeah, here's some more city over here. Over there you can see a flag named the ZPA monorail. And that's because I tried building a railway going all the way around the ZPA base. It didn't work. So yeah, here is ZPA Island 2. Once again, I can't say what's going to happen here on this island. That will be left as a surprise. Then over here is that flag I was on about, so I'll come in and land here. As next to this flag, I've got a bit of remaining track from that monorail I built. So I go down to 45, reverse thrust, and touchdown. Twin Kraken is based on the Twin Otter. It's very good stall plane. It stops in an instant and takes off very quickly as well. So over here is the flag that I was on about, and the bit of remaining track that I have. So let's get a kerbal out to have a look at that. So yeah, here's the track. It's just runways that I've placed that are scaled down to micro scale. And basically I would have a vehicle with landing gear just wider than the width of this runway, and that allowed it to follow the track. And basically why I gave up on this is there were so many of these runways that my game was quite laggy and the train kept derailing. You can see on this flag here I've got a picture of the vehicle on the track there, and the plaque on it says, was built on the 25th of May 2023 with the intent of transporting kerbals during the yearly ZPA. It took an entire day to build, and once finished, problems were evident. Trains derailed very often. The track was demolished 2 days later to reduce lag, and this 100-meter section was left. It's actually about 150 meters. Here we go. Back on the Twin Kraken again, taking off. And here we are flying over ZPA Island 3. this one is one of the ones hosting one of the new games that I can't say anything about, as I want to keep it as a surprise. Of course, I will reveal what it is about a day or two before the ZPA event. Over here is the passenger terminals for the airport here. I like to imagine that loads of kerbals come here to see the ZPA event live, so they all go on planes here to see it in passenger planes. Here is ZPA Island 4. Then over here is an old road that has been demolished. Used to lead to that monolith over there. That is one that I placed. Here is ZPA Island 5. And the ZPA islands are where the games happen. Then over here is ZPA Island 6. There are 9 games that happen at the ZPA event. One thing I can say is there will be 3 rounds of each game except for one of them. Which one of them will have 1 round. Over here is a radio station. I like to imagine this place is where the TV gets broadcast worldwide on Kerbin to for all the kerbals around Kerbin to watch the ZPA event on their TVs. You can see there's a big satellite dish and a radio station. Over here is ZPA Island 7, or is this ZPA Island 8? This is 7. ZPA Island 7. And you can see the embankment I placed for the old railway there that went around the ZPA base, and I haven't bothered to remove it. Over there is where the ZPA logo, the giant ZPA logo is. It's messed up at the minute because I tried revamping it and then I gave up and then I never deleted it, and yeah, that's a bit of a mess. So over here is runway 18 left, the short runway. Well, I say it's short, it's still 2.5 kilometers long. Over here is the terminal for the ZPA contestants. And over here is ZPA Island 8, where the final ZPA game will occur. You can see I've got a plane parked up there. One of my earliest passenger jets, as it so happens to be. That will be removed for the ZPA event. Over here is the really long runway of the ZPA base. This one is about 5.5 kilometers long, or 6.5 kilometers long even. This runway is insane how long it is. And the reason why the ZPA base was originally given a long runway was originally as a means of allowing all planes to land here. But now it's also kind of used as a testing facility for new planes. So yeah, that's the ZPA base. There's not really much else to show off at the ZPA base, so I guess I'll go and land and do some random flying around. Oh, I'm stalling out. To make sure my speed is high enough to stay in flight, otherwise I will stall out like that. And you can see, because I stalled out, I popped one of the tires. So I'm just gonna revert flight and I'll load myself in somewhere else now. Somewhere I haven't explored yet. May change the title of the stream now just to make it show what I'm doing now. just changed the title of the stream. I'm now going to explore Kerbin in places that I haven't been before. You'd think given that I've got 10,000 plus hours, that I would have explored the whole lot of Kerbin, but I haven't. Just trying to find a good place to spawn. I've got so many places I can spawn in. The one I want to spawn in on is like Dusty Island, I think it's called. I know it's a helipad, but the Twin Kraken is a bush plane, so it can take off from anything. My kerbal loading screens are a long time because of the mods. Here we go. Dusty Island helipad. Just turn the plane to a better heading and I'll be ready to take off. Yeah, I'll try and take off and go between those buildings there. Here we go. And take off. The plane is now flying. So retract the flaps, and from here I need to head south because I've never flown this way before. There's some interesting formations here of terrain. I just thought maybe for exploring Kerbin I could maybe try and hunt for the green monolith, maybe. Shall I? Right, then. I'm just going to ask a question now. Say in chat what you want to happen. Shall I continue just randomly exploring Kerbin? Or shall I hunt for the green monolith? Hunting for the green monolith will require me launching a rocket to orbit and then going round Kerbin in a few orbits, and then flying the Twin Kraken around, or whatever plane I find is best for it. So, say in chat what you want me to do. So it looks like we want to see the green monolith. Now, I am notoriously bad for looking for anomalies on Kerbal. On multiple occasions it's taken me over an hour, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to land. Oh look, I took off with the brakes on. Either that or a brake applied on its own, which it can do for me because I've got a throttle plugged in and I've got a switch on my throttle lever that applies the brakes, and sometimes after alt-tabbing out of the game it applies the brake. So yeah, the Kerbals are a bit terrified, except for Jorfrid Kerman, whose portrait is not showing up. There we go. Jorfrid Kerman has the Jebediah trait, so he's smiling. So there we go, landed without flaps, because flaps are not really necessary on Kerbal. On Kerbal they just act as brakes, like air brakes. So then, I'm going to hunt for the green monolith. And maybe if I find the first green monolith really quickly, I could potentially do another one and look for maybe one on Mun or Minmus. But I may save that for another day. So, what I need to do first, as this is a relatively clean save I have, I don't really have any satellites orbiting Kerbin because I didn't want to cause any memory leaks on my save. But I still get them occasionally because I've objectively got too many mods on Kerbal. Because I did become a bit addicted to installing mods. So the Probodobodine Rove Mate has got 100% anomaly detection, but it can only see 10 degrees of field of view, so I like to combine it with the Hex 2, because that one also has a relatively large field of view and also has quite a high anomaly detection of 24%. You can see Probodobodine Octo has 6% detection. So now I'll put a big dish on it, which is unnecessary because I've turned off ComNet because I have a mod that adds a black hole system, and I like sending probes out before I send Kerbals out, and probes just don't get any signal out there, and I kind of find it a little bit annoying when I lose signal. Set that as the root part, because if I had the rove mate as a root part, that would cause the control point to be all messed up. I also need electrical things because I always forget about those. And this is not Piggy Airways, this is a zone mission. Zone flag is here. And now time to get a rocket to launch this. Now, I've never been particularly good at building rockets that work on Kerbal, so I like to use designs that I've already made. And not just that I'm bad at building rockets on Kerbal, but also I just like the thought of using the same rockets for launching payloads. So you've got specific rockets for specific payload mass. Unfortunately, most of my stuff is launched by the Soviet-looking rocket, which is too much of a heavy lift rocket, really. It can lift too much, so I'd like to go with a smaller rocket. But it might just be easier. Might just be easier to launch it on the Soviet-looking rocket, as in there is a variant of it without the second stage. So what I'll do is I'll take the Tuvamun rocket, which it has a very big Mun lander in, which is why it needs such a big rocket to lift it. And I'll just modify things so that it can launch the satellite without being too excessive. So just remove the second stage and remove the payload, and then add a ton of reaction wheels to it because it's a very big first stage. And then I'll also need to add RCS thrusters to the first stage. I guess I don't need reaction wheels with RCS thrusters. But yeah, this is my most used rocket on Kerbal, which is why I like to use it so much, because it just works. It fails sometimes, but that's usually due to me not doing something right, like not attaching said struts properly that I am now attaching. Or doing the staging wrong. Now, one thing that really triggers me is an off-centered rocket. And I don't like rockets off-centered like that either, but I mean, rockets off-centered on the launch pad. I do not like that, so I have to center it. There we go, it's centered now. Let's get rid of the Munlander, we don't need that. Lift the rocket up a little bit. And let's add the RCS thrusters. I think the RCS thrusters I used previously were this one. And then I placed some monopropellant tanks on the side of the rocket. Another disadvantage to having a heavily modded game, you often can't find the part you need. Here we go. Placed 4 of those around the outside. And we're ready for launch. Kerbin's satellite is ready to launch. Make sure my staging is correct. Payload fairing. Yep, the staging is all correct. Let's go. So yeah, I will end the stream at maybe between 7 and 7:30. So yeah, Kerbal's gonna take a while to load because mods. It always takes a while to load for me. Of course, I'm going to be probably saying this constantly during the ZPA event because we're going to encounter at least 36 loading screens on the ZPA event. Or 27, between 27 and 30 loading screens. So here's the rocket. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Rocket is way more maneuverable without the second stage. want to go into a relatively high orbit. And you can tell by my delta V numbers that I've still got excessive amounts of fuel to get to orbit. I could probably get this thing to Duna or even Joule at a push. Fairing separation confirmed. RCS is on. Thing with RCS thrusters is you don't want to use all of their fuel straight away, otherwise you won't have any means of turning the spacecraft. And that's exactly what Starliner did on one of its test flights. It used too much RCS straight away and it couldn't reach a space station. Right, there is no electrical system on the rocket because I forgot that, so I'll have to extend the solar panels. Auto, extend solar panel, turn off RCS so I don't end up using any more fuel, and time warp up to the maneuver node. Entering orbit. And there we go. Separate the satellite. And I just realised I forgot a probe core on the rocket. So this is now just a giant piece of space debris. Anyway, let's start anomaly scanning. So I know where most of the anomalies are, so I should know whether it is a green monolith or not. So that one is not a green monolith. I'll just double check by placing a waypoint. Yeah, that's a tracking station. should have probably not left it on a 2-hour orbit as well, because that's a multiple of the time it takes Kerbin to rotate. So I'll just fire the small engine on the spacecraft to change that a bit, so it's not a multiple of the Kerbin's rotation period, because that then means that it will always go over the same sides of Kerbin. Right, this next one coming up is another tracking station. And that one on the left is also another tracking station. These two coming up, I think one of them, I'm not sure what this one is. I know the one on the pole is an anomaly. Let's have a look at where that is on Kerbin. That's another tracking station. I'm finding a lot of tracking stations. What's this one over here? That one is a launch site. What's that anomaly there right on the South Pole? I don't think I remember one being directly on the South Pole. It could be one added by a mod. That's the thing. But I'm not going to ignore that one, as that one was definitely not there before. The thing is, if it is a green monolith, that's going to make it very easy to spot. Yeah. I'm just gonna keep looking around. That one there, I'm pretty sure, is one that I placed in kerbal constructs. That one up there is an anomaly. I know what it is. I know there's a green monolith on every planet, but I feel like they should have put a few monoliths, a few regular monoliths on every planet as well. I think that one's another tracking station. I can't see, but I'd assume it is. So, the one that's really catching my eye is the one on the South Pole. That one looks out of place to me. How about that one there? That one doesn't look... That one isn't one that I'm used to either. It's definitely not the Boomerang launch site, is it? That being said, where is it? I thought it was somewhere around here. Desert launch site's there. Isn't Boomerang around here somewhere? Doesn't help that there's a lot of clouds. This one is also one I don't recognise. I feel like the one that added on the South Pole is one added by a mod. So I think I may go to this one. I may go to the South Pole first, just to check though. But this one feels more... That one feels more convincing to be that that's the green monolith. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna place a ton of waypoints around it, because I really struggle with finding anomalies. Even on Minmus I had a massive struggle finding the monolith, even though it's a completely different colour. So these will surround the anomaly, and I can then triangulate where it is using the cluster of waypoints. I will then take a plane there and fly a plane there and see what I see there. But for some anomalies, it has taken me over an hour to find some of them. So yeah, it's going to take a bit of a while to load in this. Let's get a suitable plane to be used for this. I think the Twin Kraken may do for this. And then I'm going to swap to a VAB and spawn in at the Boomerang launch site. And you know how I said earlier that the Twin Kraken can take off anywhere? It can't take off from a launch pad. A launch pad is too small, so I'll have to taxi off of the launch pad first before taking off. Oh look, there's a runway here anyway. So just need to go down here, not hit my tail. You know, what I'm gonna do is, because I'm a little bit lazy and I don't want to taxi off of that, we just pretend that no cheats were ever used and I spawned in on the runway. Oh, that's quite far away actually. That's gonna take ages to fly to on a Twin Kraken. See, the Twin Kraken is a stall plane, but it can't fly very fast. So I never use it on long distance trips. What I tend to use on long distance trips is the small trainer. Which the small trainer is here. Let's choose some kerbals. Here we go, Elon, Valentina and Baruki Kerman. Now I have to try and find where the Woomerang launch site is here. Here it is. See, I added a runway to the Woomerang launch site because runways are quite addictive to add with Kerbal constructs, because I like having a lot of places to land and take off from for my planes. Right then, we've got the no engine sound bug. Probably one of the most annoying bugs in the game's history. Except for the bug that causes CAL controllers to forget what they're supposed to do. That one's the most annoying. But the second most annoying is the no engine sound bug. So I'm just gonna do this to make sure it's daytime where I want to go. Let's take off. Here we go. Might have to mute my microphone in a minute. Take off with no sound whatsoever because of this bug that stops the engines from making sound. So now I'm just gonna fly in the general direction of this anomaly that I have spotted. So now I'm gonna time warp a bit. Nah, I don't need to time warp. We can be slow about this and get there when we need to. There's a bit of weird lighting going on those clouds there. Have the kerbals ever liked to hear silent engines on their plane? Yeah, Elon Kerman was in the last ZPA event. I'm not sure if he's in the current one. I'd have to look back at the list I made with the kerbal votes. Baruki and Valentina are definitely not in the ZPA event because Valentina got voted out and Baruki was never in the votes in the first place. Though the reason Valentina got voted out is because I put her against Jebediah, who is the most popular kerbal in the game. And I've gone off course by quite a lot. I need to head 45 degrees. Now, one thing that I always notice with the Woomerang launch site is there's a tracking station there that no one ever seems to talk about. I don't remember exactly its location, but there's a tracking station near the Boomerang launch site. People have seen it before, because I've seen posts before where people are like flying their planes or a rocket through it. But there's an antenna somewhere around here on the mountains. Oh, that's a really long distance to fly, so I am just gonna enter time warp. Now let me get the trim right so that I'm not having to push on my joystick and awkwardly fly using the joystick with time warp, because it's quite awkward with time warp. I know I could use mech-jeb, but I can't be bothered right now to use mech-jeb. Getting sunrise. Maybe I should trim out roll a little bit. The thing is, trim is so much faster in time warp. About a quarter of the way there. You know, maybe I should activate mech-jeb just so I can have it flying without me having to put in any inputs while time warp is going on. Don't need speed hold. So yeah, I have done a tour of the ZPA base about an hour ago, and now I'm looking for the green monolith on Kerbin, which I think I've determined to be over here. I'm about halfway from Boomerang launch site, and also I've got the no engine sound bug. The second most annoying bug of Kerbal history. These clouds are quite thick. Right, we're about 2/3 of the way there. I might be coming across some random anomaly here, but I'm pretty sure it's the green monolith because I don't know of any anomalies on Kerbin that are over here. But I guess there's only one way to find out, and that's by flying the plane over to it. Here we go. We are about 3/4 of the way there now. Now I am very bad at searching for anomalies, to the point of me taking multiple hours to find them. Right, we should be flying over it in a minute. So I'm going to use all of these waypoints. I'm going to use all of these waypoints to triangulate where it is. Monoliths, green monoliths, and monoliths tend to be quite easy to spot. But then again, I have also done missions before where it's taken me over an hour to spot them. So I'm now going to do the vertical descent that I do when I'm impatient, because and then I'll see if I can find it. Ignore Mum talking there. She was just talking to the dog. So the ground scatters are going to make it quite difficult to find. Should be, I'm flying away from it right now. I think it's this way. Also, I'm nearly stalling the plane. There's a bit more this way. Ah yeah, there's a marker on the nav ball. Let's see if I can find this then. I'm just flying over one of the waypoints now. So it could be anywhere between where I am now and those mountains. I need to go north from here. I think I found it. But it could be a tree, but I think I may have spotted it. Nope, it's a tree. It is quite hard to find anomalies in Kerbal. Especially when they're surrounded in thousands of trees. Valentina's Curiosity is the name of one of these waypoints, and we happen to have her on board. Oh, there it is, I think. I see something black. Yep, that's definitely a monolith. That's most certainly a monolith. And I've just got a notification on Kerbal saying that I've found something. Right, let's land. It's hard to know what throttle you're in when you can't hear your engines. Here it is, the green monolith. Man, I wish the engines made sound on here. Just wish they wouldn't mute themselves after a while. And Baruki Kerman. There's the flag. Green monolith. So I guess now I've found the monolith and done all of my objectives. I guess it's time to end the stream. There we go. There's the notification I got for finding it. Maybe I'll try climbing it. I've never been successful in climbing a monolith. Because you get halfway up and then the kerbal falls. Yeah, that isn't gonna work. But anyway, I guess it's time to end the stream here now. I've found the green monolith of this save. And it's not just the green monolith either, it's there's a green monolith for every celestial body, which there are loads of because I've got lots of planet mods. So, plenty of green monoliths to find, or I probably won't find them, to be honest. I never bother looking for them unless it's the one on Kerbin. But anyway, it's time to end the stream. So I'll be ending it now, and I guess it's going to finish. And remember to dislike and unsubscribe if you didn't enjoy the stream. And it's going to end now.